Welcome into the Alabama Football Report. I am your host today, Chris Daughtry. And before we jump in today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about Alabama's final transfer portal target of the spring transfer portal window, as well as some wide receiver targets for Alabama. But we are unfortunately getting our butts whipped by the Michigan Football Report in our May like battle. So make sure you like today's video right now for me. We want to catch these guys. I think if everybody likes today's video, that means more views for the channel and on the video as well. So make sure you like today's video right now. First topic we're going to get into right now, Alabama's final transfer portal target of the spring window. Khalil Jacobs finally took his visit to Alabama this past weekend. Now, he was supposed to be scheduled for a couple of other visits a couple other weeks ago. And there were some things on Alabama's side that it just didn't work out for him. So they finally got that visit scheduled, and he was finally able to take it. And it seems like this is going to be more of a decision for Alabama than Jacobs himself. Obviously, Kane Womack was the head coach for South Alabama for Khalil Jacobs while he was there. Now, Alabama's defensive coordinator. And in his time last year at South Alabama, I thought he did a pretty damn good job. 56 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. And if you just go to his Instagram page, he's posted a bunch of highlights there. And just overall, a really, really good talent. The problem is, we'll get into it here in just a second, is I just don't know where he's going to fit on this roster right now. Now, Jacobs, the 4 visits that he has taken, the 4 schools that he's going to be deciding between Alabama, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Missouri. He was supposed to take that visit to Alabama a couple of weeks ago and then ended up not, and then just kind of out of nowhere, he was going to be he took that visit to Ole Miss. It's not really that far of a drive from Mobile up there to Ole Miss, so he ended up taking that visit as well. Finally, as well, got that Missouri visit in too. This is the problem. I just don't know where he would play. In any other circumstances, I think he would be a really, really great player for Alabama to add in the transfer portal. But you got Deontay Lawson, Jihad Campbell. They're going to be your linebackers, your middle linebackers 1 and 2 for Alabama right there. I think really Jeremiah Alexander is also going to be a middle linebacker for Alabama as well as Justin Jefferson. And unless you maybe put him on either the Bandit or the Wolf spot, Quandarius Robinson over there, Keon Keeley, both of those guys haven't gotten really much playing time for Alabama. Quandarius Robinson a little bit more than Keeley, but I think if Robinson doesn't end up being the guy over at that Wolf spot, I think Keanu Coates probably going to be the guy that gets in that Wolf role. And Keanu Coate can play middle linebacker as well. So, like I said, in any other recruiting portal time, I would say, yes, absolutely Khalil Jacobs, add him to the roster. But, this kid's going to transfer somewhere to start. He doesn't want to be a backup. So I don't necessarily know if Alabama's going to be the right spot for him. Let me know in the comment section right now, guys. It is the pinned comment on today's video. Where do you guys think Khalil Jacobs ends up transferring? Type Bama if you think he goes to Alabama. Type Miss if you think he goes to Ole Miss. AUB if you think he's going to go to Auburn. Or Mizzou if you think he ends up committing to Missouri. Next up, we're going to be talking some top wide receiver targets for Alabama. And this one, Quincy Porter visited Alabama, took an unofficial visit this past weekend. It was his first visit with Kalen DeBoer. Now, Porter is the top player from the state of New Jersey. Alabama already has the number 2 wide receiver from the state of New Jersey in Latsier Brooks as well. He's a 4-star recruit, number 49 overall, the number 7 wide receiver from the state of New Jersey, and like I said just a second ago, the number 1 player from the state of New Jersey. And his official visits here, he's going to be taking a visit to Penn State on May 31st through June 2nd. That is a big weekend for Alabama. I'm sure we'll do a video on Alabama's May 31st through June 2nd visits. At some point, we'll do a video on that. Ohio State, June 7th through the 9th. He's going to be going up to Michigan from June 14th through the 16th, and Oklahoma from June 21st through the 23rd. Now, Alabama does want to get him on campus for an official visit at some point. We don't know when that's going to happen. It's not scheduled yet, but Alabama does want to get him on campus for an official visit. Now, we don't have his stats from his junior season, but 247 Sports does have the stats for him in his sophomore season. 35 receptions, 686 yards, a whopping 19.6 yards per catch, and 11 touchdowns for Quincy Porter. For a sophomore playing on varsity, those are amazing numbers, and he's just going to get better and better as the years go on, especially in his senior season coming up as well. And, hopefully Alabama can get this guy on campus again for an official visit and possibly even committing sometime in the future. Now, we do want to start giving a little bit of shout-outs now that it's kind of, some of that low time for Alabama, for news in general. So here's some shout-outs from our recent subscribers here on the Alabama Football Report. Catherine Stanford, Jay Martin, Born a Blessing with no I, Julie Beatty, and Aaron McCrary. Thank you guys so much for subscribing right here to the Alabama Football Report. We're going to be doing watch parties for you guys next year, as well as keeping you up to date on anything Alabama football related. Another wide receiver target for us, Travis Smith Jr., has announced a commitment date on July 13th, and he will be visiting Alabama from July 14th through July 16th. And he's another kid that, from Georgia that Kalen DeBoer is going after, and they've been doing a good job in the 2025 class, and so far now one other player in the 2026 class from the state of Georgia. They can keep hitting those guys. The Alabama get those in-state commits, get those Georgia commits just around the Southeast. Kalen DeBoer is going to be fine recruiting in the South. 4-star recruit in the 2025 class, number 118 overall, and the number 14 wide receiver in this class, and the number 17 player from the state of Georgia from Westlake High School. We want to get a shout out to our sponsor here on today's show. That is Fanatics. Go ahead and check them out at chatsports.com/NFL jerseys. Get those Alabama rookie jerseys. Alabama had a few guys taken in the first and second rounds. They've got all those jerseys. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Tyrion Arnold. They've also got Dallas Turner. It's a little bit difficult to go. Just go to chatsports.com/NFL jersey. You might have to filter it to find some of those guys, but they've got them all. Jace McClellan, Dallas Turner as well. So make sure you guys go. The link will be in the comments and the description of today's video. One more time, that's chatsports.com/NFL jerseys. Another target here from the wide receiver position, Marcus Harris will take an official visit to Alabama on May 31st. And like I said, that is a big weekend for Alabama in the recruiting cycle. Harris, a 4-star recruit, the number 140 overall recruit in the 2025 class, the number 15 wide receiver, and the number 13 player from the state of California. He is at Modern Day High School, so we know those guys churn out both college football and NFL caliber talent. So anybody from Modern Day High School, absolutely take them on this team. 2023 stats for us here. This is his junior season. 43 receptions, 644 yards, 14.9 yards per catch, and 6 touchdowns. Obviously, that's just his junior season, and he will eventually progress. And, at the end of the day, those are pretty good stats for a high schooler. Harris's official visits that he has currently scheduled Georgia on May 18th, that will be his second visit to the Bulldogs. Alabama on the 31st, that'll be his third visit, visiting the Crimson Tide. Oregon, he'll be going there on June 14th. That'll be his fifth visit. And Texas on June 21st, that'll be his sixth visit. And he is also, speaking of that West Coast, being from California, he has also taken 4 visits so far to USC. None of those are official. These right here are the official visits. So we'll keep an eye on all of those guys. Obviously, Oregon, USC, Texas, big names or big schools in his recruitment. Let me know in the comment section right now, guys, will Alabama have a top 5 class in the 2025 recruiting class? They're sitting at number 8 right now. So get a couple more commits. The defensive side of the ball has been a big focus point for Alabama so far. We can get some offensive recruits as well. They're going to go up, I think, in the rankings. So let me know in the comment section right now why for yes or in for no. 2 more names I want to talk about here. Derek Meadows, a 4-star recruit in the 2025 class. He's the number 61 overall recruit, the number 9 wide receiver, and another one overall player from their state, him being in the state of Nevada. There's been a few guys that we've seen so far that Alabama's trying to get on campus. Number 1 player in the state. As long as you can get those guys on campus and show them what you're working with, I think Alabama just overall in general has a very good shot of landing a lot of those recruits. And as well as, Kalen DeBoer, we saw what he did at Washington last year with the wide receivers, having 3 draft picks, I believe, from that wide receiver position. So, just a very good resume for Kalen DeBoer at the wide receiver position. Meadows' official visit so far, he's going to be taking his first visit to Georgia on June 7th. That's his first visit to Georgia. He's going to be taking a visit to Notre Dame on June 14th. That'll be his 4th visit to Notre Dame. And he'll be taking his second visit to Alabama on June 21st. Another name, this is going to be the last one for today, Caleb Cunningham, a guy that we've talked about before. He's a 5-star recruit in the 2025 class, number 12 player overall, the number 2 wide receiver overall in this class, and like I said, again, the number 1 player from the state of Mississippi. We've talked about him before. This kid has taken so many visits, most of them obviously being unofficial. He's taken 49 visits so far. That's absolutely insane. The kid, it's like he's going to a different school every single weekend. Now, he's got 9 visits to Ole Miss. Being from Mississippi, that's kind of an easier travel for him to make. But the official visits that he's got so far, Auburn on May 31st, that'll be his 6th visit there. Florida on June 7th, that'll be his 4th visit. Tennessee on June 14th, that'll be his 3rd visit there. And Alabama on June 21st, that'll be his 6th visit to see the Crimson Tide.